welcome to my channel, Stacio Designs. If you're new here, welcome. In this channel, we talk all about sublimation, vinyl, HTV, all things crafting, little of everything. If you're returning, thank you so much, and I really appreciate you, and I hope you're enjoying my channel. So today I am actually discussing Siser's DTV, which is direct to vinyl. So I know I've talked about DTF, which is direct to film. This is direct to vinyl. So it is in the category of printable vinyl. However, I've tried, not a million, I'm not a huge fan of printable vinyl, mostly because up until very recently did I have a good regular inkjet printer. So I did get one a few months ago, and I have been trying out a couple of different ones, and I find the Siser brand is so thin. It doesn't feel like paper. It feels better than regular HTV. However, you can still feel it. It is not sublimation, anything like that. I get great color with my new printer. And I love how the DTV weeds. I love how it feels. I love how it washes, which is a big deal because I've tried some printable vinyls that bled. And obviously when you're working with customers, that's a problem. So I have some Siser DTV, and I'm going to show it to you now. So this is what I made. You'll see I did have a technical / user error at some point where I think I thought I hit record, but I hit stop. So I'm going to switch shirts in between, but these are the ones that I did. All right. I hope you enjoy it, and please like, go subscribe, and post any questions you may have. So here I am in Design Space, and I've uploaded my image that I purchased off Etsy. In Photoshop, I added a white border, but you can also do this right within Design Space. And I've added this square behind it so that I know my print area. So in Cricut Design Space, you can only print, let me get this up, 9.25 by 6.75. So I've put my image inside of that print space. But I'm going to eyeball that off while I print, because I don't want that. That just happens to be the color of my shirt that I'm putting this on. So now I hit make it, and this comes up. So this is DTV, and it acts like Easy Subli, where it prints on top of the vinyl. So you do not mirror it. So we keep this unchecked right here at mirror. I go to continue. I say send to printer. And I have my regular Epson inkjet, not my sublimation printer, my regular inkjet printer that I print letters on, I print school things, whatever, not my sublimation printer. Because there's a border, I've already put a white border, I don't put the bleed on. Then I do use system dialog. So this is very important to get correct colors. Go to print, and this little printer dialog box comes up where you can hit preferences. So within here, I have it set to 8.5 by 11. It stays on portrait because that's how Design Space sees it. It turns it for you. I click on print preview. Then you go to more options. You click the custom button. Go to advanced. Under color controls, change it to Epson Vivid. And then I like to bump these up just a little bit. I do it differently with sublimation, but for my inkjet, I just bump these up a little bit. So I'll put this maybe on 5. The saturation is probably good on this one, and the density I'm going to put it about 2. And these are slightly arbitrary, but I only bump these up a tiny bit. So if it's 4 instead of 5, 5 instead of 6, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But it's not like sublimation where it's bumped all the way up to 15. I hit OK. Make sure mirror image is checked off. Make sure high speed is checked off. And now it's going to print. This is just my print preview to make sure everything looks good. Okay, so here's my image. So my printer tends to give me these little black marks here when I increase the density on the edges. And Cricut doesn't like that. Let me do it on the other side. I just slice these little things off and it doesn't seem to have any issue cutting. And it's just the tiniest little bit. So that's it. This is all I cut off. Little tiny sliver. And I have it set to Vinyl Plus. And then just cut it. And now you can weed. And I know people have had trouble weeding small, intricate pieces of DTV. That is one of its limitations. So if I'm going to use DTV, I try not to use small little pieces. But it weeds very easily. I just need to weed out the center. Okay, so now that I have my image completely weeded, we're going to use the mask that comes with it. It comes in a large 12 by 12 sheet, but I just cut it down to fit this. And it works just like a mask you would use for adhesive vinyl. So I just peel a little corner off, flip that over to make this easier, and line it up. So I'm pulling the sheet behind, I'm pulling that away and smoothing it out as I go. Make sure there's no air bubbles. And then I like to flip it over and do the back to make sure it is nice and adhered. And then peel the backing, peel the DTV backing away from the adhesive mask. And now this is ready to press on a shirt. Okay, I have my shirt here. It is a light blue maker shirt from Michaels, 100% cotton. I've already lint rolled it, pre-pressed it, and I fold it down the center to get the center mark so I know where the center of the shirt is when I align my image. So when I have my image, I like to fold it in half so that I know where the center of the image is. And then I align those two marks onto my shirt. So usually I just kind of eyeball it. About 3 fingers down is where I put my image, but today I thought I would use, bring this down. I would use this little handy dandy thing that I got off Amazon. Tells me exactly how far down. I find my marks. So here I had a technical / user error with my recording, but I did have a second shirt to press. So here is the kids' shirt that just say Scout, and I am pressing at 310 degrees for 15 seconds with medium pressure. At this point, the color becomes vibrant. Once you add heat to this, the color becomes even brighter. And it's a pretty good print once it first comes out, but it definitely will look better. After 15 seconds, you barely have to let this cool, and you can peel it right off. And it could be ready to go, but I do like to do a second press of about 10 to 15 seconds just to really make sure that vinyl is adhered on really well. Whenever I'm working with anything ink, I like to cover in parchment paper so that the ink never has a chance to transfer onto my Teflon or my heat press.